Hey, what's going on? This is Martin, owner and trainer Fuller Fitness, and with this, it's to hopefully motivate people who actually care more about what and how to do stuff. Hopefully, this helps those people um, in terms of, regardless of how much of a load that you're moving, to hopefully do it correctly. And what I mean by doing that correctly, and anybody around my age or older. So again, this might sound like being a grumpy old man or whatever. Certain people might think, especially if they know my age, but to do the exercise correctly, and that's without using any unnecessary momentum. So with what I'm doing is a dumbbell row. And when you're doing a dumbbell row, there's no reason for you to yank it like you're pulling a lawnmower to turn it on, um, or bouncing up and down when using your legs. If you can't lift it, then don't lift it unless it's an emergency. In terms of doing something that don't involve working out, in terms of working out, you should use that opportunity to get better, to get stronger, compared to doing a bunch of other stuff that has very little to do with the exercise. So, to make sure you can actually see what that is, I'm going to actually show you instead of telling you and you making up something that had nothing to do with what I just said. So, dumbbell rows, and I have 120 pounds on if I'm not mistaken. So, so in my opinion, doing all that extra stuff is making the exercise harder than it has to be. Also, uh, I've seen people, too many people, trying to lift the dumbbell, all the way up here. Um, One, that's an unnecessary movement in my opinion. Two, that's an unnecessary amount of energy being used to do such a simple exercise, and you making it more than it has to be. So again, I just showed you, you know, again, I'm not the strongest man in the world, unfortunately, because that was my goal growing up, but I'm not the strongest man in the world. But here I am pulling 120-pound dumbbells, which a lot of you can't do that. And yet I'm not yanking it or using my legs and dancing and doing all this extra stuff that I see a lot of people do, specifically young people. So use the opportunity when you're doing this stuff to actually get stronger, to get better. So that way, when certain things happen, you know, trying to help someone up, trying to pick someone up, trying to carry someone, that you have the mind muscle connection to do stuff that you want to do or need to do without having to think about it as much, which is what practice is for. So hopefully you utilize this as best as you can, and appreciate it as much as you could or should, and go go from there. This is Martel, owner, trainer, Fuller Fitness. Take care.